Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to our second live show for Dynasty Drip. We're doing Flex Friday again. Andy and I are going to come at you with some flex plays, some streamers, defense, kicker, tight end, and then obviously wide receiver, running back. And then also, if you are tuning in at any point, ask us for some lineup advice, dynasty advice, literally absolutely anything.
Life advice. We're here to help.
Life advice. I don't know if you want to take it all the time, but we're going to have Andy kick us off with his defense streamer for the week, and he's going with the Carolina Panthers.
That's right. We're saying roar as the Panthers get a take on the Jets, who are coming back from London. It is the second lowest over-under of the week. And now the Panthers defense isn't that great, but they are showing a lot of improvement, especially versus the run, where they have really struggled in the past. They are third DVOA versus the run, which was crazy surprising. But Jets will be without Garrett Wilson, and their offense last week, granted they're playing the Broncos, but had a total of net negative 10 passing yards. So even though the weakness of this Panthers team is versus the pass, I don't think this Jets team can pass. And especially without Garrett Wilson, I think it'll be a lot of Brees, a lot of Dowdle, and a super fun 13-10 game. Hopefully a few mistakes thrown in there, a couple of turnovers. So that would be the gross game of the week to watch, but I like the Panthers defense because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, dude. I watched the Jets last week. I immediately traded for another quarterback in a dynasty league where I have Justin Fields because I was like, not that I'm not going to play Fields. I'm going to play him. I still think he is the epitome of like fantasy good, not NFL good. And sometimes we have to shut our brains off to that. But he's also opposing defense good. There's going to be some mistakes just by the Jets. Maybe it's not Fields, but just their team is just like allows just like mediocrity to breed against them. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed starting the team that's playing against them. And I'm going with a similar kind of vibe here where it's like, I don't know if I would recommend playing Miami every week, but just going against Cleveland, I don't really think you're getting your doors blown off. I'm not worried about one of those games. I think you're going to get yours, man. I think you're going to sack the rookie QB a couple times. And Gabriel got a chance. It should be a low-scoring game. And, you know, Miami has some plays here and now. Like, I'm not saying there's some elite defense. Now, keep in mind, guys, like if we're watching this, like Andy and I go with like very low percentage started players. Like first one, I was like, oh, I'm going to recommend the New England Patriots this week. 88% start rate on Sleeper. Yeah. Just, it's not a recommend. Like, I get it. If they're playing the Titans, play them. It's a good matchup, but you don't need us to tell you that.
Yeah, this is like the post waivers running. Like you forgot to set your waivers or everybody outbid you on the defenses and you're like, oh crap, who can I start this week? So this is the dregs that are left. And yeah, you know, when you first sent me this and this was your guy, I was like, man, is the Browns offense this bad to put the 32nd ranked DVOA defense in your lineup? And honestly, I think you can. I mean, it's kind of the Justin Fields, like fantasy wise, the Miami defense has had a few good games against far better offenses. So will Dylan Gabriel, you know, can he have 2 turnovers in the game? Absolutely. So yeah, I don't hate it.
Speaking about people that I didn't even know existed, we're going with Andy's kicker for the week, Ryan Fitzgerald. I view myself as someone who knows a lot of names some people don't know. He texted me this one, and I was like, I know that's your kicker, but what team does he play for?
Dude, the reigning special teams player of the week. Ryan Fitzgerald for the Panthers nailed a 55-yarder before half, hit the game winner last week. And, you know, for a 25-year-old undrafted rookie, he's actually been playing pretty solid. And, you know, as I said earlier, this Jets-Panthers game screams field goals. Like, you know, 13-10, 12-9, you know, at the most, like 20-15. I don't know. It's gonna be a gross game. So give me the kicker.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And going with just almost made up names if you didn't know they were real. Andy Borregales, kicker for the New England Patriots. He's been up and down, but good matchup for the Patriots. Not really scared. And their offense has been cooking. So I'm just going to ride it out. When I pick my kickers, I usually just go to some of my main redraft leagues, and I only sort the ones that are not on anyone's team because that's how I like. Look, if they're available in this league with like some deeper people and deep benches, like they should be available in your league. And these are two guys that have good enough matchups. And I'm with you on Fitzgerald. Like it's ugly, but like, you know, the Panthers have been fine. And if you're a lot of times, like I do think there's some correlation of like, I want to play the defense. I'm okay playing the kicker because they're going to get stops. They're going to get short fields, should lead more points. And in general, just the higher over under, the slightly safer the kicker play may be. Now we're moving into our QB and tight end streamers. Andy's going to talk to us about CJ Stroud.
Yeah, well, old Coleridge Bernard Stroud would be my stream, playing the Seahawks in Seattle on Monday Night Football. Texans are coming off a bye, which hopefully means they've had some time to get their offense together because their defense has been playing championship-level defense, but the offense has not been able to do anything. And this is going to be kind of a tough matchup, though. The Seahawks do have a pretty good defense. Weirdly enough, though, they have let up more yards in all three of their home games than in any road game. So it seems like their defense doesn't play as well at home, and that's not just because they played Baker Mayfield. They also let up more yards to the Saints than any of their road games. Seattle's also pretty good at getting pressure. So yeah, this will be a tough matchup for CJ Stroud, but it is pretty rough out there for quarterback streamers. So, you know, hopefully it's more just playing that they can get it together after the bye. The Seahawks are looking forward to their bye. Sometimes teams underperform when they're going into a bye week. So hopefully that comes into play here and CJ Stroud can actually get it going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good matchup. Like, I actually was thinking about choosing him, to be honest. They're coming off the bye, and like, it's really nothing you're afraid of. There have been some pretty big scoring games against Seattle. Like, even though, like you said, like, I don't think their defense is bad. I actually think they have a really good defense, and maybe it's just game script. Maybe it's that their offense has been really good, but like, there have been some pretty high spike weeks going up against them.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's like a big play defense, but there's going to be some plays CJ Stroud can make. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Like, surprisingly, he was below 50% started. Like, I kind of expected him kind of be in that middle tier, but there's just so many quarterbacks that it gets really bunched up, I think, from like QB 7 to QB 16 or like whatever you really want to call it. Yeah. But Trevor Lawrence has been putting up pretty good numbers. Like, he's basically had like pretty good games all of his last starts. And yeah, he's going to make some mistakes, but I like to see him finally connect with Brian Thomas last week. I think Hunter's going to become more involved. And just in general, like, I do trust Liam Cohen as an offensive coordinator. Like, he's basically 2 for 2 in my eyes for what I know about him. And then he obviously worked for the Rams with McVay, but I don't know. Anything else to add about Trevor Lawrence here and the Jags?
I mean, it's been back-to-back solid games, but the Rams are going to be a tough matchup, kind of like the Seahawks. They've allowed the 6th fewest points to quarterbacks. We're pretty good versus the pass. But looking at like the other startable quarterbacks this week, it's like, would you rather start Trevor Lawrence or Spencer Rattler? Trevor Lawrence. Like, Bryce Young, do you want to start him again? I don't think so. Even versus the Jets, like, you struggled against the Panthers. Tua versus the Browns, not a chance in hell. Geno Smith is dead to me. So, like, it's not a great matchup. They are playing in London, though. Jags seem to love, you know, they do well when they get to go over there once a year. So, out of who is available, I think this is a guy that I would play over all those other guys who are going to be on your waiver wire.
Yeah, like, that's how I felt looking at the list. I felt like there was a pretty solid, like, 7 to 8 people that no one needs to be told to play. Like, you're going to play these players. Yeah. Speaking of some questions here, we got a QB question and a start question from Caden. Caden's asking Jordan Love or Bo Nix this week, Andy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do love me some Jordan Love, as you know. Let me refresh myself with who the Broncos are playing.
So the Broncos, Giants, and Packers, Cardinals.
Packers, Cardinals, yeah. Man, that's a tough one. I mean, for my heart says Love, but I feel like Bo Nix is going to have a pretty good game. It is also the Demaryius Thomas Remembrance Week, so there's a chance that, you know, the receivers come a little extra hyped. I know Cortland Sutton was talking about that earlier this week. So just because of that, part of me almost leans Bo Nix. He's definitely got a little bit more rushing ability. And, the Packers, I think, are still primarily a run-first team, even though I love Jordan Love. But so I would maybe lean Bo Nix, but I think that's a pretty good debate between those two. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm, leaning Jordan Love, but, I don't hate both of these matchups. I think the tiebreaker for me is just maybe, the Vegas over-under. They have the Cardinals-Packers game, 6 points higher, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Love's probably a little safer, where, Bo Nix, the Broncos have been good, but, they have been a little they'll go on, these,
offense,
2 to 3 quarters where they'll have, pretty stagnant offense, and, all it takes is, a Giants team that isn't going to blow them out, that they might play a little safer. Okay, now there's another question here. 0.5 PPR, start 3, Debo, Sutton, BTJ, MHJ, Brees Hall. Also, I would like to add, I think Marvin Harrison may not be playing, and Debo is a maybe too. So this question may be answered just from injuries, Caden. But we can pretend, just in general, who would you go here, Andy?
I think if Debo is for sure playing, I think he becomes intriguing, but I think I would go Sutton. I would go Brees for sure. I think that's the only way the Jets are going to be able to really move the ball, except for maybe through the tight end we can talk about later. And then, I think Brian Thomas is a start. If Marv was playing, I could maybe see him getting in there, but I think he's out. So I would probably just go with the healthy guys. Unless there's you get a lot of word that
for sure
for everything.
I think you could make the argument that Brees, BTJ, and Sutton are the picks anyway, let alone the fact that Debo and MHJ are probably unhealthy. Debo is a maybe. I think Harrison's a pretty risky play too. I feel like I'm seeing he might not play. I guess I don't fully know. But in general, it's a pretty good choice.
In the year, so I'd be surprised if he's out there.
Yeah, okay. So Caden's saying, looks like Marv might have practiced today. Even then, I would play those other guys over Marv. For me, Marv is 5 on that list, of those players. I'm with you on the Debo one. I think I would play Debo if he plays, because you're right, McLaurin is ruled out. Yeah. But so if you're playing Debo, I think I'm going BTJ and Brees and then Debo, and I'm sitting Sutton. Sutton's been fine, but also I'm playing these guys over Marvin Harrison. I just don't trust. And
the Packers have been playing pretty good defense. So
that's just me. I'm not risking it with the Marv thing. I've played it, and if I have better options, it seems like you do, that's where I would personally lean. So until someone else chimes in, we're gonna move into our tight ends of the week. Andy going with Mason Taylor.
Speaking of those Jets, and I think we've talked about the Jets Panthers a little too much, but no Garrett Wilson. So Taylor should see an increase in targets. Panthers are 32nd DVOA versus the tight end. They give up the second most points to the position, which is probably skewed after the game last night, where it seems like every single tight end, and shout out Pat Freiermuth for just balling out, seemed to skew the results a little bit in the points per game. Last week, Mason Taylor's just out there blocking and doing cardio for 96% of snaps, but that is his season high. I just don't think there's that many other options on this team, so I'm not expecting a great game. It'd be awesome if he got into the end zone, but anytime you've got a tight end that you can pick up who will hopefully be getting in the range of 6-7 targets, that's somebody who you can start.
Yeah, tight end is just, everyone knows it, man. Unless you are completely new to fantasy, tight end is just an absolute crapshoot. The only place I was playing Pat Freiermuth was on a team I'm tanking on. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm watching this, where is this bet? Where is this bet? Where is this bet with Pat Freiermuth? And he's scoring points, and I didn't even want them. I want to lose this week, but I'm playing Pat Freiermuth. But I'm with you with Taylor. It's it seems to set up fine for him as a streaming tight end, but he's a low end tight end one, and low end tight end ones is you can't guarantee it, but you look for some certain signals, target share, like potential opportunity. But then again, you get a negative passing output game from the Jets, and it's just, what are you going to do? Like, he seems to be like, no Garrett Wilson. He could be the number one target on this team, like realistically. But what's the number one target worth on the Jets offense? I'm with you, though. I think Mason Taylor deserves to be on this list.
2 yards.
I think, to me, like Cade Otton, kind of same thing. It's like he's standing. He's on the team. He is playing for the Buccaneers. Like, it's not that he's had a sexy season, but he was pretty productive last year when he had a higher target share when some of their players were out. Buccaneers offense is cooking. Like, at least Cade Otton should be involved. Give him a 50% chance to score. 5 catches, 4 catches. Like, to me, that's a good streaming option if you're looking like as a desperate play.
Yeah, and I mean, playing the Lions too, they're gonna have to be scoring a lot of points. So I expect a decent amount of throwing. Should be a really fun game to watch. Maybe Mike Evans is back. I don't think that really hurts Otton if he is back, because Baker's gonna throw it to wide receivers as well. So yeah, I like the Otton play this week. As this is the kind of the theme of this week, at least for me, is there's a lot of last man standing. I'm suggesting.
Oh, sorry, I had to do this. Okay, moving into our flex plays of the week. Andy's kicking us off. Someone from the Titans, man. That is a risky play as someone that watches a bunch of Titans games.
Ola Yomanor. So got a touchdown weeks 2 and 3. Got a little tiny hype, started building, and then hit the brakes. He hasn't done much since then. But, Ridley out. He might be the number one guy in that offense. And the Titans get to host the Patriots, who are playing their 3rd road game in a row, which is usually a real bad spot for teams. Historically, they do really poorly. It's already bad if you have back-to-back road spots, but once you go on a 3rd, things can get really tough. Also, Titans just fired Brian Callahan. This is my narrative-driven play. And a lot of times after firing a head coach, team kind of rallies. They get a little bit of a boost for at least one game. New England, 4th worst pass DVOA. Though a lot of that was without Christian Gonzalez, but I know he shadows a lot, but I don't think he's going to be shadowing Alec Yomanor. I think they're we can probably just play our defense. I don't think we're going to have to lock that guy down. So I think Yomanor can have a decent game as the number one target in a team that should be fired up, playing a team that's probably a little tired from doing a lot of traveling. Yeah,
dude. Part of me wanted to pick Cam Ward as my streamer, literally based on what you're saying. It's just like, dude, maybe they get a new coach. Like, they come out, they have an okay game. Like, I'm a Titans fan, man. I truthfully do not think Cam Ward is a bad player. I just think it might take a bit because their team is like an absolute dumpster fire as of now. So we got another question here from Neil. Killed you. So I don't know who Neil is, but stay safe, my friend. Choose 2 RB, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, and then they are adding it is a PPR league as well. So seems to be basically their whole team, and we're going to pick 2 of each and then a flex.
Jettis, CD.
Dude, what is this, a 5-team league?
Locking that down for wide receiver. Probably
London at the flex for me.
So then
Genty, White. Yeah, I think for me, Genty, White, Jettis, CD, London.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If I had to pick.
Just because they're probably only going to be able to run the ball, but I'd probably still play Rashad White over Brees. So congrats on the team, by the way.
It's a great team. That's a great team. I mean, you picked Mason late. You probably picked up Rashad White, picked up Dowdle. Dude, why does everyone want – I just want Dowdle to be like 95% snap share. No one wants Chuba Hubbard to come back. Like no one wants
on multiple fantasy teams. I need Chuba to come back.
No one wants Chuba. I don't personally want Chuba Hubbard to come back. We all get –
You're welcome.
Get healthy, Chuba. Get healthy, dude. Sit out, man. Sit out till the bye. I don't know when your bye week is, but if it's week 14, sit out.
I just needed him to come in for the goal line stuff. That would at least be good.
Okay. Like a Tolbert. What was his name? Mike Tolbert. like the old Carolina fullback, the ultimate TD vulture.
7 carries for 20 yards and 1 to 2 touchdowns a week.
So, I'm going with the spicy pick, man. I'm coming with MVP Tez Johnson. I don't know if you heard that story from last week. When he scored his touchdown, he was talking about how he heard MVP chants. He turned to his teammate. He's like, "Are those for me?" And they're like, "Dude, they're for Baker."
He's like, "I haven't even really."
They're not for you, dude. Like, calm down. But look, man, this is the chaotic mentality. He's gonna be probably like the big play receiver. Both the Johnsons. I mean, if you got to play Cameron Johnson too, I guess. I think a lot of people picked him up as a desperate play. I mean, no Emeka, no Godwin, no Mike Evans. I'm pretty sure still.
Yeah, no McMillan still.
No McMillan. You got Tez Johnson, you got Sterling Shepard, you got Cameron Johnson, and you got MVP Baker Mayfield. Like that's what they're running with, and they're going up against Detroit, so like they're gonna pass. It's gonna have to happen. So I like the chance that he's at least gonna get the targets, and he's a speedy guy. So I mean, it's a desperate play, but if you have bye weeks, you have injuries. This is who I'm going with as my number one like desperate player.
Yeah, I like that, and I agree with you. You know, he only caught one pass last week, but it was a 45-yard touchdown. He was out there for 72% of snaps, had 3 targets, had 4 the week before. So I think he's starting to build a comfortability with Baker, and I think that should only grow. And, you know, his big playability, I think, is what sets him apart from the other guys.
Well, and I think, too, like, I like I don't know if it's sample size, but I think it's more of like a track record where like even like last season with Baker, it's like, okay, Godwin goes down, McMillan's playable. Like that, McMillan had like a 5-game stretch last year down the weeks, like 14 through 17 or something, and he was killing it. Yeah. And so they're going to throw the ball, and I think you just kind of got to play who's healthy there. I did only write McCaffrey. This is Luke McCaffrey, just to be clear. Start Christian McCaffrey if you guys dare. Luke McCaffrey, though, Andy, is this a Terry McLaurin still being out vibe?
This is Terry McLaurin still being out. This is also a Deebo Samuel potentially not playing or at least being banged up play. You know, if Deebo's fully good to go, I might pump the brakes on this a little bit. But if he's out, then I'm definitely okay throwing McCaffrey in there. Available in over 90% of redraft leagues, so he's probably on the waivers. But, you know, he gets to play the Cowboys, who have let up the most points to wide receivers. You know, I love Ertz in this game. I love Bill in this game. But, you know, more about McCaffrey. He only has 10 targets on the season, which isn't great, but 3 of those targets he did catch for touchdowns, which is a pretty alarming rate. You know, he's just kind of one of the last guys standing. So I think if both those guys miss, he should be more involved against the worst pass defense in the NFL. So he should have some more opportunities. Hopefully, you know, if he gets 4 targets, one of those should be a touchdown. So that's all we're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, dude, obviously the Bucs are the most banged up wide receiver core, but Washington's a close second. Like no McLaurin, no Noah Brown. I mean, McCaffrey's gotten in the end zone. Like he's gonna get some looks like with it, and like you said, like he's sitting out there. You shouldn't have a problem like finding him and adding him to your team for this week. I'm putting him out there again, man. Andy called the shot a couple weeks ago, nailed it on Shaheed. I don't know if Chicago is like the best matchup, but for me, I think it's a good time to throw him out there. Like Olave has been continued to be involved, and it's just going to keep opening up windows for Rashid Shaheed. All this trade talk, they're going to shop him, dude. They're gonna put him out there. He's gonna do it this week. Shaheed's a gut call player. Like no one needs to explain to you Rashid Shaheed. I will say, lineup advice-wise, I was proud of myself. I called the Jamison Williams week last week, having a big game, recommended a couple people play him. And honestly, it was just fully based on the fact that I was going up against Jamison Williams in multiple leagues. And I was like, this is the week. I can tell. As soon as I'm playing against him in this one league where I just get crapped on, Jamison Williams is going to go off.
Yeah, and you know, on paper, like you said, Chicago defense has been pretty good against the pass. However, there is a weak spot. They're deep left pass defense. They are dead last DVOA. So if we can get Rashid Shaheed lined up on the left-hand side of the field, run and go balls, I think there's a great chance he takes one all the way to the house. So I think we got to just call up the Saints, be like, hey, this is what we found. Just put him on the left, let him run, See what happens.
I mean, luckily Shaheed is the deep player.
He's the deep
so
guy.
If someone's got to run those routes, I think Rashid
Yeah.
Shaheed, you could be doing worse than him. Andy's last flex player of the week, the Puka Nacua replacement hype from last year that went out of control. But Whittington did show out kind of when Puka was hurt last year. He was very involved.
He had a few good games when Puka was out and he was getting the snaps. All these guys that I've been talking about this week are definitely the deeper ads where it's like, hey, I don't have somebody that I can play. There's a good chance you have people on your bench who would be a little bit higher, but we want to talk about more of the real deep plays. This is another one of those. Let's see. He played 92% of snaps last week, led to a whopping 3.8 fantasy points, which is not good. But last year, 2 games where he played over 90% of snaps and Puka was hurt. He had 8 targets and 10 targets, did pretty good for your fantasy team. No explosive games, but around like 10 to 13 points each time. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. The Rams going to be playing in London against the Jags. Decent pass defense, but they do let up some yards. And Devontae Adams can't catch every pass. So somebody else is going to have to be involved. I think Whittington being out there from more of the snaps gives him a slightly better opportunity. So that's the guy that I would roll with.
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of that offense that has been there since McVay took over. Like, he loves running these guys. He sets them in. He wants them to block. He wants them to be a part of the offense. And it can't all go to Devontae Adams. Like, the opposing team is going to know that's what's going to happen. It
did work for Jamar Chase last
that
night.
Crazy. Although that's true. And as a Jamar Chase owner, I felt great watching every single catch. I need a win in a dynasty league. And I'm just like, dude, that's what I play. That's how I play Madden right there. You're like, who's your best player? I'm going to throw that guy the ball.
Yeah.
It's basically just like LeBron James basketball vibes.
Yeah.
So before I get to my last player, we got James here asking for a little advice. Pick 2 for flex: Pollard, Woody Marks, Bam Knight, Kyle Pitts, Tez Johnson.
Ooh, pick 2. I think Pollard for sure is going in there.
I think I'm going Pollard and Marks. I don't hate Bam Knight. I think he's involved, but I do still think Carter's more involved. And I told you I do feel Tez Johnson isn't like a bad play, but I still would play like my starters over him.
Yeah, I think I would also go Pollard and Marks. Packers do have a pretty good run defense. I think they're second DVOA versus the run. Pitts slightly intriguing, but yeah, I think Pollard and Marks would be the answer. Tez probably coming in third, then Pitts, and then Knight would actually be bottom for me, which might be a mistake. I might have to rethink that, but I'd go Pollard and Marks. You only have to choose 2.
Yeah, I mean, these are your flex plays too. So, like, I'm assuming, obviously, if you're flexing Woody Marks or Pollard, like, you probably have some pretty good starters besides. Because I think on some teams, like, Pollard and Marks could be considered a starter.
I'm starting Woody Marks in my 14-team league and probably will for the rest of the season based on how that roster shaped up.
Yeah. So I'm going with my last flex play of the week, man. I'm going Isaiah Pacheco. I talked about him in a Dynasty video where I think there's actually some weird reasons I could convince myself to buy Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know if it's a long-term thing, but I just think he was the most involved I've seen him last week. He had a 70% snap share, which was easily his highest of the year. And watching the game, it just looked like they wanted to involve him more than I've seen them want to involve him the rest of the year. Now, maybe it's a hunch, but I do just think the Chiefs are going to get going even more on offense. And Pacheco is the guy they want to take over. They want him to be what he once was. He just broke his leg, dude. That is a hardcore injury. And I just think the higher snap share for me, in a big game, that wasn't some throwaway game. Last week was a game they needed to win. And the fact that they played him the most they've played him all year, to me, signals maybe he's a little healthier. Maybe they've just been working him back and waiting for him to slow a little, show a little explosiveness in how he's playing.
Yeah. No, I think he's definitely starting to look the part a little bit more. And, the 77% snap share is definitely a great indication that they want to be the guy. Rashee Rice coming back, improvement to that offense, I think is only good for Pacheco, just gives them more opportunities to score. They are a double-digit favorite playing the Raiders this week, so the game script wise, that should account for a decent amount of running in the second half.
So while we wait, if anyone needs a lineup question, trade advice, make sure to like, subscribe, shoot us a comment. In the meantime, we're going to go over our picks from last week. Andy killed it with the kicker one, man. You gotta give some credit. So anyone here, make sure to comment. Give Andy some props here. Kicker one, not easy to do when you're picking bad kickers too.
Kicker 30 or kicker 1. There's no in between.
Yeah. So Andy, Chargers, Pinheiro, Darnold, Ingram, Leggett, Haskins. Shepard was close. He just didn't fully make it. Right. I mean, I think if you picked up Shepard, though, you probably could run him back this week as well. Yeah. We both got the defenses. Badgley just missed. Mac Jones threw the picks, dude. I'm giving Tonjes here. He was a deep play. I think tight end 14. Vidal obviously was the right move. Felt great about that one. Romeo snuck in. Stevenson, dude, watching that game was so frustrating because, like, they obviously wanted Stevenson to be good, and they gave him the ball a lot. He just had, like, 16 yards. I was so, like, he had, like, almost double-digit touches. So I was like, I felt good on, like, the process that, like, I had the process correct that he was going to be involved. Andy up at 74% hit rate, though, on the defense, man. I'm really liking that as a play in general. So we got another one from James here. I have Josh Allen, Dan Dime, Dobbins, Pollard, Adams, Keenan Allen, MHJ, Waller, Pitts, Coker, Watson, Bucky, all hurt. Ted Johnson and Bam. Any trade ideas that I could do? So I'm going to assume this is redraft, James. If it's dynasty, let us know while we're talking. I'm going to assume redraft just because we've been talking redraft today.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to look here.
I mean, if there's anybody who's in real desperate need of a quarterback after this bye week, I don't think there's any time you would ever play Danny Dimes over Josh Allen. So if you could maybe package Danny Dimes.
You're good. You're good, dude. You're good. I read it now. You're good, man. We like the paragraph. Redraft. Okay.
But if you could somehow, if there's a real quarterback needy team, you could package Danny Dimes and another player to try and move up. Looks like you could probably use some help at running back with Bucky still being out. So maybe see Harrison's out. You got Waller and Pitts.
I think to me what stands out is like I would definitely search your league, find who's weakest at tight end, and see if they want Kyle Pitts. Because I think I would lean Waller over Pitts rest of the year. Just target share. I don't know. I mean, like Pitts has been fine. I mean, I actually think he's been playing like better than I thought he would this year. But you have two tight ends, and it's tough. Like I got a league where I got two quarterbacks. I got Herbert and Dak, and like I try to trade them. No one wants them, but I'm going to keep trying because I don't need them both. I don't want to sit on double quarterbacks. And same thing with tight end here is like you don't want to sit on Waller and Pitts. So like even if you can upgrade slightly, it's like, you use Waller or Pitts, you toss in Keenan Allen and you try to get up to I don't even know. Like, can you get up to I'm trying to think who you could even get with some of those guys. I mean, I'd love to get better at running back, but it's tough. Like everyone wants to get better at running back.
Yeah. I would just, I think a lot of it is like roster makeup. You got to look for people who are weak at either quarterback or tight end. I think tight end is probably the better one to go after. And then either try and trade for somebody who you can kind of, flex in and out, who's just going to be an extra depth piece, or try and like pair Pitts with Dobbins or, Pitts with Pollard and try and like move up a tier or two in running back. So that's what I would go after. And so then you're going to probably want to be targeting teams that have multiple good running backs, because if they only have one good running back, they're probably not going to want to trade him. But if they have they're sitting on three of them, then there's a chance that you could maybe get a deal done if they don't have anybody at tight end. So,
yeah, I mean, honestly, to go back to one of our flex players of the week, dude, I would send Kyle Pitts for Isaiah Pacheco. I think it's risky, but I think for your team, I would love another running back. And I don't really think you lose any points by moving Pitts away and just starting Waller every week. And I think Pacheco's a guy that he's done so little that I don't think he's some untouchable asset where a lot of the other guys I would want to tier up to are pretty hard to access, or I just don't want them. I just look, man, I love Kenneth Walker, but like, I don't know if I want to trade for him. He hasn't shown enough to me that's like starting him helps a bunch. So we hope that helps, James. We got one from Jeffrey J. Jeffrey, make sure to like, subscribe. We appreciate you watching, dude. Start sit 2-part question for the week. Dowdle or Vidal, Browns D or Seattle D this week. Just as a refresher for just in case you need it, Andy. We got Browns Miami.
Yep.
And then Seattle, they're doing we talked about
Monday
them
game.
Yeah.
They
got
the Monday game.
Seattle, Houston.
Yeah. I think I would lean Browns D. I don't hate the Seattle D though. I'm hoping Houston's offense can get it going, but they haven't shown it yet. But I mean, the Browns defense looks so good. Miami offense is looking okay, but they are a little bit banged up. So yeah, I would lean the Browns. Then Dowdle or Vidal. It does seem like what's his face? Chuba's coming back this week, so I will see how much that impacts Dowdle's touches. I think he's probably still going to maintain his lead role, but I don't know if it'll be 20, 25 touches a game. So I might lean Vidal.
Yeah, so I'm definitely with Andy on Browns D. I think I like the Seattle defense, but I'm definitely concerned that some of their games get a little shootouty. So
yeah, they
could definitely make the plays because I'm not that scared of Houston. But coming off the bye, they get a little I don't know. I'm with you. I think the Browns D, they may not put up some 18-point game or something, but they're going to get a couple sacks on Tua. Obviously, no Tyreek. I don't think Miami blows you out or something. And with the way Cleveland wants to play with Gabriel under center, they just want to play the clock, make some short throws, control the game. And they want the game to be 17-13, whether it's a win or a loss. That's what they're going for. And I'm riding Dowdle, Jeffrey. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just I've ridden Dowdle in 3 straight leagues, for 2 straight weeks. But I can't see a dude drop back-to-back 200-yard games and just not believe that. I'm riding that until it drops. And there's definitely a world that Chuba and Dowdle get enough touches against the Jets. There is totally a world that matchup, it could definitely play out. So hopefully that helps you out, man. Definitely every Friday afternoon, Andy and I will be on. If people are joining in, we'll definitely try to sneak some more in, but Fridays for sure. One more thing from James, and then we got a couple. We got one from Juan as well. Pacheco's on a team that is weak at RB, so I'm sure he wouldn't want to trade with Pitts and Dobbins. Who should I try to upgrade to? Let me see. Let me pull up just a list of some RBs Dobbins. I mean, I don't think this happens, but could you get up to a Judkins? Probably not. I don't hate Dobbins. I think that's the thing is I think most of the guys you're probably gonna have to tier up with a better player than a tight end. Personally, and I would have said previously Jalen Warren's a guy, but not after what he did last night. I don't think the dude's going to trade him right away.
Yeah, that would be tough. And then you wouldn't be able to start him this week either.
Yeah, and you can't play him this week. So, I mean, you definitely got to wait.
Yeah. Would you go after Bill Krosky?
Yeah, I think Bill coming off a low game as well as a guy I wouldn't hate going after. But hope that helps, James. We appreciate you tuning in, man. Make sure to like, subscribe. We'll be on next Friday as well. So Juan's got a question, Juan. If you are in the chat still, man, make sure to like and subscribe.
Receivers.
That's our I like to say that's the payment for us answering your question. Make sure to hit subscribe. But who for my wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 tight end flex?
Okay, let's see. Adams for sure. Debo if he plays. But then Johnston.
QJ, yeah, I mean,
yeah. So
Adam, to me, they're in the order I'm playing them, and it's just based on health. I'm going Adam, Samuel, QJ. If Debo doesn't play, I'm going Addison. If QJ doesn't play, I'm going Butte. And I'm just working down that line left to right. Flex spot. Let's see. Kroski. Yeah, I see Kroski late there.
Sure.
He's at the end of that list, but Kroski for sure. I think Kroski just had a weird game last week. I think he could have had a good game.
Yeah. And then
Jacobs Taylor. Yeah, obviously Jacobs Taylor. Those are your RB1s. I'm going Kittle, dude. If he's playing, they've held him out, and I think it's just the concern that he might re-injure it. I don't think they're putting him out there hurt. If he's playing, he's playing.
I agree. He's a dog, so I would definitely start Kittle. I think if Debo doesn't play, you can make the argument that Zach Ertz should have quite a few targets. Like, I do like him a lot this week, but I don't know if I like him over Kittle, even if Kittle might, in his first game back from injury. So
I'm playing 30% snap share George Kittle over everyone but like McBride and Waller. Like, that's how much better he is than the other players. We got another one from Juan. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Second league, wide receiver 1 and 2, and then flex spot. And then I guess maybe tight end, or maybe he's just saying he could play both tight ends at flex potentially. Because I would go Kelsey at tight end over Tonjes.
Yeah,
for sure, especially if Kittle's playing.
Lamb, JSN, Rice. Done.
That's a stacked.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. And then I guess if you're asking for flex, I would go QJ. I would go QJ at flex if he plays.
Well, wide receiver just 1 and 2. So I'm getting you just got to start 3 of these guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Lamb,
so just those 3.
Rice.
Yeah.
And then probably Kamara would be my flex for some reason if you were scared about starting. For somehow it seems like CD's going to play, but if something comes out and he's not, I would probably go Kamara in the flex over Johnston. But that's a pretty good looking roster there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I guess if you have sleeper and you have the sub function, sure, sub Kamara for Lamb, I guess, in case he doesn't play. But I'm putting Lamb in the same thing I said about Kittle. It's like they held these guys out, dude. They've been out for multiple weeks. They're not bringing them back.
And Lamb said last week he could have played. He would have been limited. This week he says he's going to be full go. I'm trusting it. And he's CD Lamb. So you play CD Lamb.
Lamb's a tough motherfucker, dude. That dude played with that shoulder injury last year. And you can tell he does not. He even came in when he hurt his ankle. He came in and tried it out.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went out. But he wanted to go in.
Yeah.
And I think they told him that.
We're going to need you the rest of the season.
I think they told him no. But thank you guys for watching. Like the new guys. I know I saw some of these names last week, but Jeffrey Wan, James, I might have recognized you from last week, James. I know I recognized some of the earlier guys in Caden from last week. But we appreciate you guys joining, man.
Yes.
We are here to help you out. If you need help and you don't catch us while we're live, just comment on any video and I'll comment. And if it's about one of Andy's players, I always make sure to text him so he can chime in as well. And we're going to try to be consistent doing this on Fridays because we've been having fun and we appreciate you guys joining in. But Andy, appreciate you coming on with me, dude.
Thanks for having me, brother.
And we will catch you guys next week for Flex Friday. Hopefully our picks get you going. If you need any other help, just hit us up on Twitter or comment on any video and we got your guys' back. But appreciate you coming in. Catch you guys later.